Okay, in this tutorial I'm just going to show you how to connect a game controller to your Unity game. Now the controller I'm going to use is one of these things here, so it's a very cheap and cheerful controller, similar to what used to be on an old PS2. Anyway, so we have two analog joysticks on this thing, one left, one right. Now the one on the left controls character movement, so forward, back and all that kind of stuff. And the one on the right is currently doing nothing. Now if we pop into game, just by running up the game there, you can see that the mouse is being used here in this instance to control the view. So you can go forward and back on your cursor keys or WASD. That's fine. I've used, it's all working there. And my controller is working fine, but it's not doing that mouse look functionality. So what I'm going to do basically is get that up and running in here. So in order to do that, what I need to do is modify the script which is controlling that mouse look functionality. So if we go into the FPS controller and have a look at it, you'll see that there is some scripts. There's a first person controller script there, but if you actually go down into the standard assets into the character, so first person character here, under scripts we have this mouse look functionality. So that's the first person one there, so this is all, but the one we're really interested in is quite simply this mouse look one here. And so what we need to do is edit this thing. So what I'm going to do is run up this mouse look, so double click on this and it'll fire up Visual Studio. So that'll take a little while to get going. Okay, that was actually a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. So here is the script, and we'll see here that we have X sensitivity, Y sensitivity, and all the rest. Now once you scroll, figure this one out, as pointed out to you, this thing here, this is what's actually doing the work. So what we're doing is rotating the camera based on the input from the mouse X and Y. So this Y rotation, X rotation is cross-platform input manager, get axis, mouse X, times the X sensitivity, which is shown up here as 2F. So what we really want to do is make sure that the variables being pulled in here are actually our controller. We want that thing to be basically activated. Now as it happens, it's not too hard to do it. So we can just pop that out of the way for the moment. We're going to come back to it. Now, first of all, we need to do is go into the project settings under the edit menu. So project settings, and then we click on input. And that brings up this input manager here. Now, if we drop this down, we'll see that we have horizontal, vertical. And if, for instance, we just quick look at the horizontal there, you'll see name horizontal and then negative button and positive button, left and right. So those would be your cursor keys. Alternatives would be A and D. So again, if you're using WASD, it's there. And you can see there type, key, mouse button, etc., etc. Now the ones we're interested in are mouse X and mouse Y, and these are the ones that are actually referred to here. So this mouse X and mouse Y is these guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two new variables, or two new array elements here. So I'm going to duplicate this twice, so right click and hit duplicate, and then in each of these I'm just going to rename them. So the first one I'm going to rename to Joy X, and the next one I'm going to call Joy Y. Okay, so now I've got those two set up. Now going into these quickly, you'll see there's a couple of things going on. Gravity is set to 0, dead set to 0, and sensitivity 0.1. I'm going to come back to those in a little bit. But under type here, because it was copied from the mouse, it was based on mouse movement. But what we can do is set it to joystick axis. And the axis, instead of being the Y, is going to be, we'll try the third and see what that does. Typically from the controller I'm using, it'll be either the third and the fifth, X and Y. Truthfully, don't know which one is which. So I'm going to try that anyway. So if that's the third, I'm going to go to this one and set this joystick axis to the fifth. So that'll be those. Okay, that should be okay. What I'm going to do now is back in the script, I'm just going to change these to joy X and joy Y and save down that script. And let's have a quick look in game and see what happens. So there we go, in game. Now my mouse has gone dead. It's not doing anything, as you would expect. And I now have my mouse look working from the right controller, the right joystick. Excellent. Now, the look functionality is quite slow. So what I'm going to do is make a couple of little adjustments here, and we'll see what we can do. So joy X and joy Y. Currently here the sensitivity is 0.1. So I'm going to push this to 0.5 on each and see what that gives me. So just confirm that those have gone in. Yep. And now try. Okay, it seems to be, yeah. Okay, it's looking a lot better, as you can see, but what's happened here is when the look is in the central position, so when the right joystick is in the central position, it is still seems to be tracking towards the right. So I'm just going to get a bit closer to an object here so you can see that working. So you can see it there, it's kind of turning away. All right, so obviously we don't want this to be very irritating for a user, particularly if it was quite quick. So what we can do is have the dead zone set up on it. Now, the way this thing works is if you have a value in here, anything below this threshold value, this is just pushing values over and back, will be ignored. So as you move your joystick across, I think it goes to 2 and -2 or something like that. But unless it's perfectly centered or it can be a bit of interference coming through, it'll actually be showing a number. So I'm going to set this to 0.1. I'm going to do the same on the Y and just see if that kills the problem I've just experienced. If not, we look at just increasing that threshold value. Okay, that doesn't seem to be, that seems to have cured it. So I can look left and right, up and down, no problem. I'm going to go a bit closer to an object here and stop everything, and with a bit of luck, my mouse look, or my joystick look, is fixed. Yep, not moving. Okay, we'll stop it there.